Nutrition in plants and animals. Meaning, importance and types of nutrition. Nutrition. This is the process by which organisms obtain and assimilate nutrients. Importance of nutrition. 1. It provides a living organism with raw material for 2. Respiration to produce energy in the cells. 3. Growth of cells and tissues. 4. Repair of worn out or damaged tissues such as healing of wounds. Types. 1. Autotrophism. This is where living organism manufacture its own complex food substances from simple substances such as carbon, IV, oxide, water, light, or chemical energy. 2. Heterotrophism. This is where organisms take in complex food materials such as carbohydrates, proteins and fats obtained from bodies of plants and animals. Nutrition in plants, autotrophism. Definition of photosynthesis and its importance in nature. This is the manufacture of food materials using light energy from the sun. It takes place in green plants. 1. As source of food and energy. 2. Provides oxygen. 3. Photosynthesis uses carbon IV oxide from the air and incorporates it into carbon found in food substances. Adaptations of leaf to photosynthesis. The leaf blade, lamina, is broad and flat to provide a large surface area for absorption of sunlight and carbon IV oxide. Most leaves are thin to reduce the distance across which carbon IV oxide has to diffuse from the stomata to reach the photosynthesizing cells. The leaves are arranged on the stems of some plants in such a way that each leaf is able to absorb the maximum light. This regular arrangement of leaves on the stem minimizes overlapping and overshadowing. This is called leaf mosaic. The presence of air spaces in the spongy mesophyll allows for faster movement of gases. The leaf veins conduct water and mineral salts to the photosynthetic cells. They also transport manufactured food to other parts of the plant, enabling more to be made. The cuticle and epidermis are transparent, ensuring penetration of light to the palisade cells. Each palisade cell contains a large number of chloroplasts, and their arrangement and location next to the epidermis enables them to receive maximum sunlight. Presence of stomata for efficient diffusion of oxygen, water vapor and carbon IV oxide. Palisade cells are closely packed and vertically elongated to allow many to be packed beneath the epidermis where they can receive maximum light. Structure and function of chloroplast. The chloroplast is the organelle in a plant cell where photosynthesis takes place. Chloroplasts are found in the cytoplasm of palisade mesophyll, spongy mesophyll and guard cells. Each chloroplast is surrounded by two membranes, i.e. the outer and inner membranes. Inside each chloroplast, are small units called grana, singular granum. A granum consists of a number of discs placed on each other like a pile of coins. One granum is connected to another by intergranular lamellae. Granum contains chlorophyll molecules and other photosynthetic pigments for the light reactions of photosynthesis. Granum provides a large surface area to accommodate a large number of chlorophyll molecules. Stroma contains enzymes that speed up the rate of photosynthesis. Process of photosynthesis. Light and dark stages, omit details of electron transport system and chemical details of carbon dioxide fixation. Photosynthesis occurs through a series of chemical reactions. These reactions can be divided into main stages. The first stage requires light energy and therefore it's called light stage or the light-dependent stage. The second stage does not require light energy and therefore it's called the dark stage or the light-independent stage. The light stage. It takes place in the grana. During this stage, chlorophyll absorbs light energy. This energy is used in various ways. Some is used to split up water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen atoms. This is known as photolysis, i.e. photo means light. Lysis means splitting, i.e. hydrogen produced is used in the dark stage. Some of the oxygen formed is released from the leaf through the stomata. The rest is used up in the plant cells. Some of the absorbed sunlight energy is stored and is used in dark stage. Some of the solar energy absorbed by chlorophyll molecules is used in the formation of N-agarike adenosine triphosphate, ATP. This reaction involves conversion of light energy to chemical energy. The dark stage. It takes place in the stroma. It proceeds whether light is present or not. This process involves combination of carbon IV oxide with hydrogen atoms to form simple sugar such as glucose. This process is known as carbon IV oxide fixation e.g. The energy required for this reaction is provided by ATP from light stage reaction. Factors influencing photosynthesis: light intensity, carbon dioxide concentration, water, temperature, chemical compounds which constitute living organisms. Carbohydrates. They are compounds of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, CHO. The elements are in the ratio of 1 carbon, 2 hydrogen, and 1 oxygen. This gives carbohydrates a general formula, CH2O, N, where N represents the number of carbon atoms a molecule of carbohydrate has. They are divided into I, monosaccharide, E, disaccharides, E, polysaccharides, B, lipids, C, proteins, D, enzymes. These are organic catalysts which are protein in nature. They are produced in living cells. Chemical composition and functions of carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids omit details of chemical structure of these compounds and mineral salts in plant nutrition. Properties and functions of enzymes. There are two types of enzymes. 1. Intracellular enzymes. They are secreted and used within the cells which produce them, e.g., respiratory enzymes. 2. Extracellular enzymes are produced within the cells but used outside the cells which produce them, e.g., digestive enzymes. Properties of enzymes. A. Enzymes are protein in nature. They are therefore affected by temperature and pH. B. Enzymes are substrate specific. C. Enzymes are efficient in small amounts since they are not affected by the reactions they catalyze. They can be used again and again. D. They are catalysts that speed up the rate of cellular reactions. They are not used up in the reactions they catalyze. E. Many of these enzyme-catalyzed reactions are reversible. Importance of enzymes. A. They speed up cellular reactions so that they proceed at a pace that is appropriate for sustaining life. B. Enzymes control cellular reactions and this prevents violent incidents in the cell. Nutrition in animals, heterotrophism. Meaning and types of heterotrophism. Heterotrophism. It's a mode of nutrition that involves taking in complex food materials like carbohydrates, proteins, and fats obtained from bodies of other plants and animals. Modes of feeding in animals. Holozoic nutrition. It involves ingestion, digestion, and assimilation of complex food materials. Examples of heterotrophs are carnivores, omnivores, and herbivores. Saprophytism. This is a type of nutrition where organisms obtain nutrients from dead organic matter causing decomposition. Examples: fungi and bacteria. Parasitism. This is an association where one organism, the parasite, feeds on or obtains nutrients from the tissues of another living organism, the host. Examples: tapeworms. Symbiosis. This is an association where two organisms live together and mutually benefit from each other. Dentition of a named carnivorous, herbivorous, and omnivorous mammal. Dentition. This is the description of types, number, and arrangement of the teeth of an animal. The type of dentition in an animal is related to the type of food that it eats. Dental formula. This describes the types, number, and position of the teeth in the jaws of animals. Adaptation of the three types of dentition to feeding. Herbivorous mode of feeding. A. Most herbivores do not have upper incisors but instead have a horny pad against which grass is pressed and cut by the lower incisors. B. They have a long tongue which assists in cutting and turning of grasses, moving the food during grinding. C. Have diastomathus is a gap in the lower jaw between the front teeth and the molars. It creates space for the tongue to move in and out, thus assisting in pulling in grass. D. The joint in the jaw is movable. This makes it possible to the lower jaw to be moved easily. When chewing, the lower jaw is moved from side to side, hence enable the premolars and molars to grind the food. E. The molar teeth have broad upper surfaces which provide a large surface area for grinding grass. F. The surface area of molars is further increased by cusps in the upper teeth which forms a W shape and the lower teeth that form an M's hapae. G. The teeth of molars herbivores have large pulp cavity and an open enamel in the crown, a condition which allows continuous growth to replace worn-out surfaces due to grinding. H. The lower jaw has incisors and canines which are chisel-shaped. The canine teeth are either absent, very small, or form tusks like in elephants. Internal structure of mammalian teeth. Externally, the tooth is made up of three regions, i.e. 1. Crown projects above the gum. The crown is covered with a hard non-living layer called enamel that is made of calcium phosphate and carbonate. 2. Neck region between the crown and root. 3. Root. Part embedded in the jaw. Enamel. It's the outer part of the tooth and it's the hardest substance in the human body. It's made up of non-living tissue. Dentine. This is the part found immediately beneath the enamel. It's not as hard as enamel. It's made up of living tissues. Functions. Provides most of the bulk of the tooth. Pulp cavity. It's found at the center of the tooth. It contains numerous blood capillaries and sensory nerves. These enter the pulp cavity through a small opening at the bottom part of the root. Functions. Blood capillaries supply nutrients and oxygen to the cell of the pulp cavity. They also transport waste materials and CO2 from the tooth. The sensory nerve fibers have nerve endings that make the tooth sensitive to temperature, pain, etc. Special cells in the pulp cavity produce dentine, which contributes to the bulk of the tooth. Cement. It's similar to the bone in structure and it lines the root and holds the root in its socket in the jaw. Periodontal membrane. This membrane is found between the cement and the jawbone in the socket of the tooth. Function. It contains cells that secrete cement. It also allows the tooth to move slightly to avoid breaking during chewing. Common dental diseases, their causes and treatment. Dental caries, cavities, caused by plaque, bacteria plus saliva, found on the surface of the teeth and between the teeth. Plaque is soft and easy to remove by thorough brushing, but if left to accumulate, it hardens to produce a substance called tartar which a dentist has to remove. Lack of hard food. Too much sweet, sugary foods. Lack of calcium in the diet. Lack of vitamin D. Lack of cleaning of teeth. Treatment. In case of small cavities, not reached pulp cavity, they can be cleaned and filled with special material to form a filling that seals and protects the tooth from further damage. In case of deep cavities that have exposed the pulp cavity, the cavity is thoroughly cleaned to remove the bacteria and decaying food material. The resulting space is then filled with a special material which solidifies to seal the tooth. This procedure is known as root canal treatment. In very severe tooth decay, the whole tooth is removed. Periodontal diseases, caused by lack of vitamins A and C, lack of massage of gums, lack of proper cleaning of gums. This disease causes the gums to become soft and flabby so that they don't support the teeth. There are two types of periodontal diseases, i.e. 1. Puria. It's a condition where the teeth become loose due to the infection of fibers holding the teeth in the sockets. 2. Gingivitis. It's characterized by reddening of gums, bleeding of gums, presence of pus in the gums. Digestive system and digestion in a mammal, human. Digestion, it's the process of breakdown of complex food to simple compounds in the digestive system. Digestive system, regions, glands and organs associated with digestion. Alimentary canal. It's also known as gut. It's a muscular tube that runs from the mouth to the anus. The walls of the alimentary canal are lined with glands and blood vessels. As food passes through this tube, it undergoes the process of digestion, then the digested food material is then absorbed into the bloodstream. Digestion in the mouth. In the mouth, the food is mechanically broken down by the teeth in the process of chewing and grinding, mastication. Mastication reduces food to small particles and increases the surface area for enzymatic action. Functions of tongue. Contains taste buds for tasting food. moves food around inside the mouth. This allows the food to mix with the saliva which is secreted from the salivary glands. Saliva. It contains water, acts as solvent. Mucus lubricates the food and lining of the mouth. Enzyme, salivary amylase, choline, digests starch to maltose. Choline works best at a medium which is slightly alkaline. 3 pairs of salivary glands inside the mouth cavity secrete saliva into the mouth through short tubes called ducts. The salivary glands in the mouth are 1. 2 parotid glands located on each side of the mouth in front and below the ear. 2. A pair of submaxillary glands located below the jaws. 3. Sublingual glands located below the tongue. The food then passes down into the gullet, esophagus, which contains circular and longitudinal muscles. Circular muscles are arranged in a circular manner inside the wall of the alimentary canal, while longitudinal muscles are arranged along the length of the alimentary canal. When a food bolus is in esophagus, muscles in the esophagus walls contract and relax in a wave-like manner to squeeze it along. This process is known as peristalsis. Peristalsis. During peristalsis, the circular muscles behind the food bolus contract, causing narrowing of the esophagus in this area. This creates pressure that squeezes the bolus into the esophagus. Then the circular muscles relax, allowing the esophagus to receive the bolus. The alternate contraction, constriction and relaxation of the circular muscles in the esophagus enables the food to be propelled into the stomach. Digestion in the stomach. Stomach is the thick-walled muscular bag that stretches as it fills with food. It's located on the left side of the abdomen just below the diaphragm. A ring of muscle called cardiac sphincter is found at the point where the esophagus opens into the stomach. There is another ring of muscle at the lower end of the stomach. This is known as pyloric sphincter. The 2 sphincter muscles control the movement of food into and out of the stomach. The stomach wall is made up of thick muscular muscles and longitudinal muscle layers. These muscles contract and relax, producing movements that mix the contents of the stomach. The mixing is known as churning and results in the formation of a fluid called chyme. Functions of the components of gastric juice. 1. Dilute hydrochloric acid. The acid kills some bacteria that may be present in the food. It provides an acidic medium for optimum activities of pepsin enzyme. It changes the inactive pepsinogen to the active enzyme pepsin. Occasionally after a heavy meal, the high pressure in the stomach causes some HCl acid to leak in the esophagus. Since it does not have a mucus lining, the HCl causes a burning effect, producing the pain called heartburn. 2. Pepsin. It's secreted as an inactive form called pepsinogen by special cells in the gastric gland. This protects the enzyme producing cells from being digested. Once in the stomach, pepsinogen is converted to active pepsin due to the presence of hydrochloric acid. Pepsin breaks down proteins to peptides. 3. Renin. Its function is to make liquid milk to curdle. This is called coagulation of milk. It does this by converting a soluble milk protein caseinogen into an insoluble form called casein. Pepsin can only act on milk protein when it is converted to casein. Digestion in the small intestines. The arrival of food into duodenum stimulates the secretion of the hormone secretin from the pancreas and cholecystokinin from the duodenal wall. Cholecystokinin stimulates the secretion of bile from the gallbladder, and secretin stimulates the secretion of pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice is alkaline and contains 3 digestive enzymes, i.e. 1. Pancreatic amylase. It breaks down any undigested starch into maltose. Recall starch digestion started in the mouth. 2. Trypsin. It digests proteins into peptides. This enzyme is secreted in its inactive form called trypsinogen. Trypsinogen is activated by an enzyme called enterokinase. 3. Pancreatic lipase. It digests lipids into fatty acids and glycerol. Pancreatic juice also contains sodium bicarbonate, sodium hydrogen carbonate. It has 2 roles, i.e. it neutralizes the acidic chyme from the stomach, creates a suitable alkaline medium for pancreatic enzymes. Bile. It's a green liquid and contains bile salts, e.g., sodium glycocholate and sodium taurocholate. Functions of the salts are: aid in breakdown of fats into tiny droplets to increase surface area for digestion by pancreatic lipase. This breakdown is known as emulsification, e.g., digestion in ileum. It's the lower part of the small intestines and the longest section of the alimentary canal. It's coiled to fit in the limited abdominal space. The inner walls of the ileum contain secretory cells, some of which secrete mucus and some of them secrete an alkaline fluid known as intestinal juice or succus entericus. The arrival of the chyme in the ileum stimulates the secretion of intestinal juice, which contains 4 enzymes, i.e., maltase. It speeds up the breakdown of maltose to glucose. Sucrase. It speeds up the breakdown of sucrose to glucose and fructose. Maltase and sucrase complete the carbohydrate digestion. Peptidase. It breaks down peptides into amino acids. Lipase. It breaks down lipids into fatty acid and glycerol. The process of digestion is thus completed in the ileum. The resulting watery emulsion of food is called chyle and contains soluble products of digestion ready to be absorbed. Adaptations of the ileum. It's long and therefore provides a large surface area for absorption. Narrow so as to bring digested food into close contact with the walls of the ileum for easier absorption. Highly coiled inoder to slow down movement of food and thus allowing more time for digestion and absorption to take place. It also increases the surface area for digestion and absorption. The inner surface of the ileum has large numbers of villi and microvilli, finger-like projections, which increase the surface area for digestion and absorption. Thin layer of cells through which digested food diffuse. Presence of a dense network of blood capillaries in the villi into which amino acids, sugars, vitamins are absorbed. This helps to maintain a steep diffusion gradient. Presence of lacteals in the villi for absorption, transport of fatty acids and glycerol. Crypt of Lieberkühn has cells which secrete intestinal enzymes. The large intestines. It's also called colon. It's about 1.5 meters in length and is composed of the caecum, appendix, colon and rectum. The walls of the large intestines have no villi. They have mucus-secreting glands. Functions. Absorbs water and this makes the contents of the large intestine to become more solid. At this point, the material is known as feces. Synthesis of vitamin K. The mucus-secreting cells produce mucus to lubricate the passage for easy movement of feces. Feces is composed of undigested roughage material, dead cells from the lining of the alimentary canal, unwanted mineral salts and bile pigments. The rectum stores these feces until powerful peristaltic waves cause the sphincter muscles in the rectum to relax and the feces are released in a process called defecation. Feces may take 12 to 24 hours and even up to 3 days or more to pass to the rectum. A sphincter muscle at the entrance to the rectum prevents feces from entering the rectum until it's ready for elimination. Caecum. It has an appendix which forms a small projection. In some animals like rabbits, the caecum and appendix are enlarged and contain bacteria which release an enzyme called cellulase which digests the cellulose material. In humans, caecum and appendix are small and do not have any function. Sometimes food may get trapped in the appendix and it decays, causing an infection called appendicitis. Doctors may remove the appendix if the infection is very severe. Some bacteria in the large intestine form a gaseous mixture of nitrogen, hydrogen sulfide and flammable hydrogen and methane. The accumulated gas called flatus is eliminated through the anus. Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Assimilation. It's the incorporation of the products of digestion into the cell metabolism. Absorption. Assimilation. It's the incorporation of the products of digestion into the cell metabolism, e.g., glucose. It's oxidized to release chemical energy during respiration and the excess is stored in the body as fats underneath the skin or in the form of glycogen in liver and muscle cells. Fatty acids and glycerol are oxidized to release energy, but most combine into neutral fats which are stored underneath the skin to insulate the body against the cold. Amino acids. They are used in the synthesis of proteins for the general body growth and repair of worn-out tissues. In the absence of glucose and fats, they may be used to release energy through oxidation. Vitamins. They are organic chemical compounds that are essential for a healthy body. They are obtained from fresh vegetables and fruits. Some are synthesized in the body by the activity of microorganisms present in the gut. Vitamins are destroyed when the food is excessively cooked. Although the vitamins are required in very small quantities, they play an important role in metabolic reactions. Some act as coenzymes in enzyme activities while others influence the intake of certain substances in the body, e.g., vitamin D influences absorption of calcium ions in the gut. Vitamins are placed in two main groups, i.e., fat-soluble vitamins. These are stored in the body because they can dissolve in fat already stored in the body, e.g., A, D, E, and K. Water-soluble vitamins. They are soluble in water, e.g., vitamin B complex and vitamin C. Importance of vitamins, mineral salts, roughage and water in human nutrition. Vitamins. They are organic chemical compounds that are essential for a healthy body. They are obtained from fresh vegetables and fruits. Some are synthesized in the body by the activity of microorganisms present in the gut. Vitamins are destroyed when the food is excessively cooked. Although the vitamins are required in very small quantities, they play an important role in metabolic reactions. Some act as coenzymes in enzyme activities while others influence the intake of certain substances in the body, e.g., vitamin D influences absorption of calcium ions in the gut. Vitamins are placed in two main groups, i.e., 1. Fat-soluble vitamins. These are stored in the body because they can dissolve in fat already stored in the body, e.g., A, D, E, and K. 2. Water-soluble vitamins. They are soluble in water, e.g., vitamin B complex and vitamin C. Roughage. It consists of indigestible materials such as cellulose from the plant cell walls. Functions. It's able to absorb water and therefore makes the feces moist and bulky. Roughage mechanically stimulates the gut wall. Encourage contraction of muscles and peristalsis. Stimulates the secretion of mucus. The fiber is also known to reduce the risk of cancer in the colon. Helps in preventing diabetes. NB lack of fiber in the diet makes the feces compact and dry, leading to constipation. Sources of fibers are cereals, fresh fruits, vegetables, brown bread. Water. It makes about 65 to 70% of the total body weight. A person deprived of water will live for only a few days, whereas it is possible to survive for more than 60 days without food. Functions of water. Acts as solvent. Cooling of organism. Providing a medium for transport. Facilitate hydrolysis. Babies lose a lot of water than adults because it has a large surface area to volume ratio, hence the baby's fluid intake must be higher. Factors determining energy requirements in humans. Basal metabolic rate, BMR. This is the energy required to maintain the normal body functions such as breathing, heartbeat, circulation. It's about 760 kJ. It's also used to maintain constant body temperature. Occupation. This involves the activities that one does every day and it determines the energy requirements of the person. Age. Young children have many actively dividing cells and are physically more active than adults. As they grow older, they become less active physically and their energy requirements decrease. Body size. Small-bodied people have a large surface area to volume ratio, therefore their bodies lose more heat energy to the surrounding. Such people acquire more energy-giving food. Big-bodied people have a small surface area to volume ratio, therefore their bodies lose less heat energy to the surrounding. Therefore their energy requirements is low. Sex. Many males are more muscular than females. That means their bodies have more muscles than fat, while females have a lot of fat as compared to the males, hence males normally use more energy. Practical activities. Carry out experiments on factors affecting photosynthesis. Observe stomata distribution. Carry out food test experiments. Carry out experiments on factors affecting enzymatic activities. Investigate presence of enzymes in living tissues, plants and animals. Observe, identify, draw and label different types of mammalian teeth. Carry out dissection of a small mammal to observe digestive system and associated organs. Demonstration.